Welcome to the Wind Up with Will, everyone. I'm your host, Will, here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the start of the NFL season. It starts in about an hour from now. My Dallas Cowboys, are taking on Philadelphia, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry, Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champs, tonight at 7:20 Central Time on NBC. I think it'd be 8:20 Eastern Time. But I'm super excited for the start of the NFL season, and I've got my NFL predictions here today, not just for who's going to win the divisions, the regular season, awards, and the Super Bowl. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm just going to start. I apologize for making my college football video so long. So for this, we're just going to go through where I have the teams seated, and I'm going to mention some teams that I don't have making the playoffs and maybe some reasons why. But so let's get started with the seeding for the playoffs, and this will go through. I'll go through the division teams. So in the NFC, we'll start with them 1 through 7. I have the Eagles with the number 1 seed, so I have them winning the NFC East. First time in over 20 years. I think it's been 22 years. I think since the last back-to-back division champion in that division, or 23, 21. It's 21 or 22 years. That it's been a long time. There has not been a repeat champion in this division for a super long time. And I think the Eagles finally get it. Last year I predicted the Cowboys to win it for a second year in a row. That didn't happen. So this year I'm going to pick the Eagles to win it for the second year in a row and hope that I'm wrong again and that the Cowboys win it. But we'll see on that. The Eagles, I think they're the best team. They're the reigning Super Bowl champs. Their offensive line is good. They dominated the Chiefs in the Super Bowl on both sides of the line. Their offensive line is still good without Travis Kelce. Saquon Barkley looked like the best running back in the league last year. Rushed for 2,000 yards. He really should have been more of an MVP candidate than he was. Just they've got a great defense that stifles, and Jalen Hurts has shown he is a capable quarterback in this league. He's a good quarterback. He's not just a game manager. He's a good quarterback, and they've got a good coach in Nick Sirianni. They've got a good front office. They are the best team. That's why I'm picking them to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. They're winning the NFC East. Number 2 seed, I have the Green Bay Packers. I probably would not make this pick if it wasn't for last week's horrible news of the Dallas Cowboys trading Micah Parsons away. I literally looked at a coworker and told him to shoot me. Like, I was so mad when this trade happened. I'm still mad. Jerry Jones just shot the franchise in the foot here. It's just a horrible decision all around. Um, I can maybe talk more about that in another video to talk specifically about the Cowboys and the franchise and the Micah Parsons trade. But today's video, we got to stay on topic, so I won't get too far into that. But the Packers immediately improved their defense. Micah Parsons is one of, if not the best defensive player in the game. Just a phenomenal guy. He's in his first 4 seasons, he's had over 50 sacks. I think he's the 5th fastest guy to 50 sacks in NFL history. He's been runner-up in the Defensive Player of the Year 3 times now. Like, he's a phenomenal player. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He is arguably the best defensive player in the game. And watching Cowboys games, he makes a difference rushing the quarterback. He gets so many quarterback pressures. He gets so close and just puts pressure on the quarterback. This takes the Packers defense over the top. Their draft selection of Matthew Golden, wide receiver in the first round. This is the year the Packers are finally going all in. They are going to be a really good team this year. I would have picked the Lions probably if not for the Micah Parsons trade to win this division, but I'm picking the Packers. I think Micah Parsons is the difference between them and the Lions. So they've got the 2 seed. The 3 seed, I went a little bit back and forth on the NFC South and the NFC West winner here. I ended up going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I love Baker Mayfield. He was phenomenal last year for the Bucs, and they've got a great team around him. They've got a good defense. They've got good wide receivers. They've got a good running back, and I think they've got a good coach in Todd Bowles. They are a good team, and I like what they've got cooking down there, and they are going to be a good team this year. I'm picking them to win the NFC South and be the 3 seed. The 4 seed, I have the San Francisco 49ers. I have them winning the West. I think even though they lost a bunch of players last year in free agency, I think they maybe had a player retire. They still have talent. Brock Purdy is a really good quarterback. He's an underrated quarterback. I'm a Cowboys fan saying this. I would love to have Brock Purdy as the Cowboys quarterback. He's a great quarterback. Christian McCaffrey, if he can have a healthy season, he doesn't have to be an MVP level candidate. If he can just have a healthy season and rush for 1,000 yards, that would make a massive difference for them. They struggled with the run game last year. They had Deebo Samuel hurt at times last year. Brandon Ayuk, which Brandon Ayuk should be back this year healthy. They've still got quite a bit of talent. They've got Nick Bosa. They're going to be a good team. They're going to be a good team, and I think they're going to win the West. I think they're better than the other teams in that division. I think the Seahawks and Rams are close to them, and the Cardinals could be surprising. The Cardinals have been kind of an underdog team. A lot of people have been picking to win that division or make the playoffs, but I think the 49ers are still the best out of the West, out of the teams out of the West. So I'm picking them to win the division and be the 4 seed. Now, my wild card teams, I went with the Lions at 5. I think they're a really good team. They're just stuck in a division with some other good teams. The Vikings, Bears, and Packers are all going to be good with them. I think the Packers are the best team with Micah Parsons. The Vikings were really good last year, and they got a good defense. I just have J.J. McCarthy as a question mark. I think he was a question mark to me when they drafted him, and I don't know, and obviously I don't want him to fail, but I just think that I just have a question mark with him of how good is he going to be, how can I replicate that? And Sam Darnold had a phenomenal season last year. He had a career year where he went out and got paid a bunch of money for it. I just don't see them necessarily replicating that again this year. I think they could be a good team and just miss the playoffs, but I don't think the Vikings are as good as the Lions or Packers. I have the Lions. Sorry, I should stick to what teams I have. I think the Lions, they've got a great head coach in Dan Campbell. They got a bunch of talent as wide receivers. Their running back tandem of Gibbs and Montgomery. They got a decent defense. I think they're a good team. They play hard nosed. They take gambles. And I think they're a good team. I think they're just unfortunately second to the Packers in this division, which gets them the 5 seed. 6 seed, I had the Seattle Seahawks. I think adding Sam Darnold's a great look, and if he can be what he was last year for the Vikings, the Seahawks are a playoff team. They've got good wide receivers, they've got decent running backs, they've got a decent defense. They were a decent team last year with Geno Smith. They were a good team a couple years ago with Geno Smith. They are a capable team of making the playoffs. And I think Sam Darnold at quarterback is good enough to get them there. And their whole team has got a solid team with guys like Jackson Smith Najigba, I believe is how you pronounce his name. Kenneth Walker at running back. They've got a good team. I'm picking them to get the 6 seed as a wild card. And then the 7 seed, I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys. You already knew this was coming. I was not going to make this video and not pick the Cowboys to make the playoffs. I think the Cowboys, even losing Micah Parsons, which is a big blow to the defense, they still have a decent defense. The offense should be good. The offensive line should be better than it was last year. Dak will hopefully be healthy this full season, so we will get a more stable quarterback situation. And then you have the great addition of George Pickens at wide receiver. He might be a little bit of a diva. He might have his off the field issues, or you could call it on the field issues, because he gets into fights with cornerbacks all the time. But I think he's a great add at wide receiver. I think it will help open up CD some more, because you can't just put 2 guys on CD. You gotta cover George. So that's going to open up CD some more. I think the offense should be good. My question mark is the defense. Can the defense be good enough without Micah Parsons? Can they be good enough on the pass rush to get enough stops and to help that offense to win? Also, the running game is a question mark. Jamon Williams will be the running back for the Cowboys to start the season. I believe that's how you say his name, if I can get it up. And then Jaden Blue are. Actually, I just pull up the depth chart. Javonte. I'm sorry, I didn't know why I said Javonte. Javonte Williams will be the running back. Miles Sanders and Jaden Blue. A lot of people, myself included, think Jaden Blue will end up being a more significant role by the end of the season. I think he was a good pick for the Cowboys, but my question marks are going to be the defense and the run game. Moving over to the AFC, I'm picking the Bills to be the number one seed. I think they're the best team. Josh Allen, I almost said Joe Burrow. Josh Allen is a phenomenal quarterback. They've got a good coach in Sean McDermott. I think they're the best team. I'm picking them to be the number one seed in the AFC and win the East. Two seed, I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs won't be the number one seed this year. They were extremely lucky in games last year, and I should maybe pick them to fall even farther. They got really lucky in some games last year that they really should not have won. Some people might throw around the word referee. The refs bailed them out. I don't know. I don't know if I would say that. I think there's some questionable or gray area calls that happen to go their way. I don't know if I would say it's the referee's reason or fault that they won so many of those games last year. Some of it's just dumb luck. Some of it's a bounce that goes here or there. And I don't think they have quite as much as that this year, and that's why I have the Bills at the one seed. But the Chiefs are still good enough that I pick them to be the two seed and win the AFC West. Three seed, going a little spicy here. I'm picking the Cincinnati Bengals. I think Joe Burrow has an MVP level season this year. I think he's going to be absolutely phenomenal for them if he can stay healthy, if the offensive line can block. They should be good on offense. They were phenomenal on offense last year. And I love the addition of Al Golden as defensive coordinator for the Bengals this year. Just he comes from Notre Dame. I'm a Notre Dame guy. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I dropped my pen. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Where did my pen go? Okay. I'm a Notre Dame fan, so I love Al Golden. But what he did for Notre Dame last year, the defense was phenomenal. It was amazing. And I think he can improve the Bengals defense. Will they be a top 10 defense? No, they won't be top 10. Will they be top 20? I could see them cracking into the top 20. I don't think they're going to be one of the worst defenses in the league like they were last year. I think the defense is going to improve, and that's going to help them win some games. It's going to help them get some wins against teams like the Ravens, and their divisional rival, wins against the Steelers, who are improved. They should be a good team. I'm picking them to win the AFC North and be the three seed. Four seed, I'm picking the Houston Texans. I think they're the best team in this division. I think the Jaguars are really the only team that can contend with them at the moment. The Titans, who I also love, my family has season tickets to them. We're going to the home opener. I'm so excited to go see Cam Ward play. I don't think that the Titans are good enough yet. The offensive line should be improved, and the defense should be okay. And Cam Ward, I think, will be a good quarterback, and the offense should be good. The question mark is the defense and how many mistakes will Cam Ward make in critical situations that cost him a game or two here or there where they don't make the playoffs. I think the Titans will be an improved team this year. I don't think they'll be competing for the number one seed like some people seem to think, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs or win the division. And the Colts have, I think, their quarterback situation being between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson, they're going to win some games, but they're not good enough to make the playoffs, let alone win the division. So the Texans are the easy choice here, the AFC South. C.J. Stroud's a good quarterback. They got weapons. Picking them to win. The wild card teams, I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're one of the best teams in the league. I think, unfortunately, though, they could lose both games this year to the Bengals, and that be the tiebreaker that decides it. So I have them as the wild card team. I think they're really good. I love Derrick Henry, love Lamar Jackson, but Joe Burrow, I think, is going to be better this year, and I think the Bengals win that division. So I have the Ravens as the 5 seed. 6 seed, I have the Denver Broncos. I love what the Broncos are doing with Sean Payton as the head coach. Bo Nix looked great last year. I think they'll be better this year. Their defense should be one of the best in the league. I'm picking the Broncos to be a wild card team. I just think that they're not as good as some other teams, especially on offense. And I still think Bo Nix, even though he's played like 10 years in college, I think it was really more like 5 or 6, but it felt like he played forever in college. I don't know that he still has the experience enough in the NFL to where they are going to just be better than other teams. Now they might surprise, they might even win the AFC West, but I really think the Chiefs are the better team in that division, and the Ravens will have a better record in the wild card. So I'm picking the Broncos at 6. 7, I'm picking the I should say Los Angeles Chargers now. I keep wanting to call them San Diego. The Los Angeles Chargers, I'm picking them at the 7 seed. I think Jim Harbaugh is a phenomenal coach. That's really all you need to know. Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. He doesn't get talked about enough, but it always seems like they just find a way to lose enough. But I think they're good enough that they get a wild card this year. I'm picking them as the 7 seed. And we're going to briefly go through how I think the playoffs will go because this video has gone on already 15 minutes. The wild card round, I'm going to pick the Packers to beat my Cowboys. I really hate to say that, but the Packers, I think, are the much better team. So I have the 2 seed Packers beating the 7 seed Cowboys. I've got the 3 seed Buccaneers over the 6 seed Seattle Seahawks. I think they're the better team, and I think having the home game makes the difference there. 5 seed, I've got the 5 seed Lions upsetting the San Francisco 49ers. A little bit of a revenge game from a few years ago in the NFC title game where the Lions blew it. They get revenge. They beat the 49ers to go to the divisional round. On the AFC side, I've got the 2 seed Chiefs beating their divisional opponent, the 7 seed Chargers. The 3 seed Bengals I have beating the 6 seed Broncos. The 5 seed Ravens I have upsetting, I guess it's technically an upset because they're not the higher seed, over the 4 seed Texans. So that sets up a divisional round of Eagles versus Lions, Packers versus Bucks, Bills versus Ravens, and Chiefs versus Bengals. So the divisional round, I have the Eagles beating the Lions. I think they're the much better team. They have home field. I think they win again. Then I have the 2 seed Packers over the 3 seed Buccaneers. Gets us a 1-2 matchup in the NFC title game. Then I've got the Bills beating the Ravens to go back to the AFC title game. And then I have the Bengals going on the road and upsetting the Kansas City Chiefs to go back to the AFC title game. Joe Burrow gets his 2nd win in the playoffs on the road in Kansas City. So that sets up the conference title games of Packers versus Eagles and Bengals versus Bills. I've got the Packers upsetting the Eagles, the 2 seed, going to the Super Bowl representing the NFC, and then I have the 3 seed Bengals upsetting the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo to go back to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow knows how to win on the road in the playoffs. They go back to the Super Bowl. But I have, in the Super Bowl, I have the Green Bay Packers beating the Cincinnati Bengals to win their 5th Lombardi Trophy. I have a score 33-27, and the Super Bowl MVP I'm picking is Jordan Love. I think they're the better team. Micah Parsons gives them that championship-level defense. I'm picking the Packers to win the Super Bowl. I hate to say that, but I think they are the better team. And I also had my league award winners that I need to go over, and then I'll briefly mention some teams. I guess I could mention some teams real quick who I think will just miss the playoffs. I'm going to say that in the NFC we've got the Bears, Rams, and Commanders that all missed the playoffs. Commanders, I think, take a step back from last year. It usually happens. They get a tougher schedule. They fall back. It happens. Bears, I don't think are quite ready yet, and the Rams, I think there's too many question marks, I think, around Matthew Stafford's health for them. In the AFC, I think the Titans, best case scenario is 9-8, but I think more likely probably like a 7-9 level season or so. I think they can be around 500, but I don't think that Cam Ward is experienced enough yet, or that the offense has improved enough, or like the offensive line, for example, or that the defense is good enough for them to make the playoffs. I also don't have what was the other team? I don't think the Steelers are good enough. I think Aaron Rodgers has struggled with his health, and he's not the same quarterback he once was. I think their defense is great, but I don't think their offense is good enough for them to make the playoffs. The Dolphins as well. I think they're good enough where they could maybe just miss, but I could see them making the playoffs. They do have talent, but the question mark is going to be, can Tua stay healthy all year for them, and can their whole team stay healthy? They had a lot of health issues last year, or really the last couple of years, I think, and that's what's hurt them making the playoffs. So I have them missing the playoffs here as well. The league award winners. My MVP pick, I'm picking Joe Burrow. Like I said, if he's a MVP level candidate, they're going to the Super Bowl. If he's not, Bengals are going to be pretty bad, or I should say, could be bad. But I'm picking Joe Burrow to win the MVP. My offensive player of the year, I'm picking Derrick Henry. I think he's going to be great with the Ravens. I think Saquon takes a step back this year. It's hard to have a 2,000-yard season back-to-back years. No one's ever done it. No one's ever had a second 2,000-yard season. So I'm picking Derrick Henry to win this. I think he's still going to flourish in that role with the Ravens. He's phenomenal with the run game, the offensive line. He's got the package there where he can make it work with the Ravens. So I'm picking him as Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, I'm picking Micah Parsons. He finally wins it when he gets out of Dallas. It's unfortunate, but I think that's the way it is. He's going to be phenomenal and be a huge improvement for or a huge addition to the Packers, and the reason why they're a Super Bowl level team this year. The Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm picking Cam Ward. I think he's going to be great with the Titans. He's got great weapons around him, and him and Calvin Ridley have a lot of great chemistry. I think he's going to make it work and be a great player there. My Defensive Rookie of the Year is Abdul Carter, the linebacker with the Giants. He's a former Penn State player, just like Micah Parsons, but he is playing on a Giants team. He's a really good pass. I shouldn't say but. He is a he's a really good pass rusher on the Giants. He's gonna be he's a linebacker for them. He was really good in college. I think he's gonna transition very well to the NFL and wreak havoc on quarterbacks in the NFC East. I'm picking Abdul Carter to be your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Coach of the Year, I'm picking is Sean Payton. I think him getting the Broncos into the playoffs, they're going to have a great year. The defense is going to be great. I think he wins Coach of the Year. Comeback Player of the Year, I'm picking is Dak Prescott. This is not really a bias in terms of picking a Cowboy. I'm not a huge Prescott fan, but if he can be healthy the full season, he should have a good season with the weapons he has. And because he plays for Dallas, the media is more than likely going to vote him for Comeback Player of the Year. So I'm going to pick him to win the Comeback Player of the Year. Those are my thoughts on the NFL season, my predictions. I got the Packers winning the Super Bowl over the Bengals. I didn't think I would be saying that a week ago, but that is my pick. Let me know your thoughts down below. Who is going to make the NFL playoffs? Who's your MVP pick? Who's winning the Super Bowl? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.